All right. Thank you so much. Today I'm joined with Samuel. Is your last name? Is it Bodin?
Bodin, yes.
Bodin. Okay. Samuel Bodin and Woody Norman. The new
Uh,
movie Cobweb. It'll be out July 21st in theaters.
Absolutely. Hello, Ryan. Nice to meet you.
Great to meet both of you. My first question, I'll go ahead and direct it over to Woody. Being a child actor, is it difficult for you to separate work from like your personal life, like your friends? Or how do you go about doing that? Or is there a separation?
I don't really like even talking about my work with my friends because I feel like it could lead to a level of trying to assert maturity on them. And I feel like that's just something I want to do.
No, that makes total sense. And I've read that you're known as you're so grown up, and I can see that by talking to you. And this movie you played your character for Peter. Do you see any similarities with Peter from your personal life, or have you been bullied ever before, or know anybody that's been bullied? Because that was a big theme of this film. It was a terrifying film, but I think the bullying like really enhanced that because it felt so real.
Yeah, I don't really relate to Peter that much, but in the way of as the character, I kind of separated myself from him because I thought it would be cool to explore the contrast of it. And I think you are completely right in the bullying aspect of it did shape the film and the character. But yeah, I think it's just a really fun aspect to explore in the character.
And do you plan on doing more horror films after doing this one?
I do, but in the future, because I've got another one coming out pretty close to Cobweb. And I think I would like to explore other genres as well. I kind of take a small break from horror.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You're young, you have plenty of time.
Yeah.
You can do it all. And then Samuel, what attracted you to this film? How did you get on board with it?
What I loved in the script of Chris was, in a way, its simplicity and how twisted it is in the same way. You know, it's really, really complicated to write a simple story. Simple is complicated to reach. And here it was simple and twisted. And I felt very fast that we could build a little universe to tell that story, you know, to not be totally grounded, but to be in a weird fable way. And I love that. I say, oh my God, we really have to build something here and to build the language and to build those characters in a way that it's not horror totally grounded, but more like a weird Halloween fable. And we have to build that. And it was a very cool opportunity. So it was really, really the first thing I said, oh my God, I want to try that. I want to try to build that.
And you mentioned the script, and there was kind of a little hint of, because it had a lot to do with the mysterious tapping that Peter was following throughout the film. And that kind of reminded me of Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart. Was that a big part? Was that an inspiration for the script that you're aware of?
I think, and maybe Chris Devlin, the author, can speak better than me about that, but I think it was one of his first inspiration about that story. You know, it's always the things that you hide and tap in your head and come to reveal itself when they haunted you. So I really think that it was one of the first sparkle of the idea of the script. It was Poe behind that.
I definitely felt a little bit of that throughout the film. That was great. And then Woody, what was your favorite part of filming this movie?
I just like that it was obviously my first horror film, so it was all new to me. Like the idea of prioritizing a
Mhm.
really primal feeling was completely, foreign to me. So I think that was, a really cool experience to have for the first time.
What about any difficult experiences? Do you have any challenging parts?
I actually think I have the same answer, but also screaming. I find it really hard to do.
I bet.
I'm not being too loud with it.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. And Samuel, what about you? Did you have any challenging experiences working on this film?
Yeah, for me, it was a lot of first times here. It was
Yeah.
my before that, I always writing or co-write my project. So it was the first time I did a command. It was not my script. So I have that exercise to do to, dive in a story that isn't mine at first. So it was the first challenge for me. It was my first feature film. It was my first project in English. So, and it was the first time I collaborate with US companies. So, it was a lot of first times. And it was right away in the beginning of COVID. So we had this kind of big challenge, but everyone was in the same boat. It was the same challenge for everyone. When I was with Woody, try to be clear, and it was 3 years ago. So I didn't speak like I speak now. So Woody was always try to understand me, and I make a lot of mimes and a lot of sounds and be clear. So each day was a little bit a challenge. Communication is so important on a movie, obviously. It was really a challenge, but day by day, we find our way to build it. And all the crew and all the cast and all the producers really helped me to do this kind of thing. So yes, the challenge was those simple things. And in another part, you're making a scary story. You have that, it's complicated. It's a question of rhythm, of universe, and every day you have to bring everyone in that little weird place, to make it exist. So, but yeah, we went through that. But every day was, this technician is not here because he has COVID, and you see all those people disappear in the classroom. We start with, I think, with 20 kids. At the end of the day, we were 13, so we had to, because, it's positive going. It was a kind of a weird adventure.
Now, like you said, there was a lot of firsts for you in this film. That is great. And then speaking of, horror, you did Marianne for Netflix, and then, obviously now Cobweb. Do you plan on going down the same route and doing more horror?
Yeah, I definitely, I will not do only that because I come from comedy. I did a lot of comedy in France before that. I have a movie in development in France that is a weird love story during World War II, so totally not that genre. But on another hand, I'm developing a movie with a US company, and it's a horror movie, and it's one of my ideas and a special one that I want to do since a long time. I really love to tell scary stories because there is something in it that when you can go in difficult matter, serious matter, and suddenly you are afraid, you become a kid again.
Yeah.
And you understand things, it's like when you are laughing, your ears are very well, and I love that muscle. And I definitely want to use it again. And I have a lot to learn. The more you do, the more you learn. And I totally think that I have so much to learn in that genre that I want to continue to practice it.
Yeah, practice makes perfect. That's what they say. And then, and Woody, this kind of might be a premature question for you because you are, a young actor. But do you ever see yourself getting behind the scenes, behind the camera someday, maybe directing, producing, writing?
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to kind of do the acting and directing at the same time.
Oh,
I feel like that would be able to really get every single idea into a film. But I have no idea how that would turn out. I feel like it would be a not very good end result. It would just be loads of random ideas put together.
you never know. And then there's so much that you're probably learning on these films, and and I'm sure you'll continue to learn. So that's great to have those aspirations, you know. That is great. And then Samuel, are you working on anything right now?
Yeah, I am developing that movie with Studio 8 is a company.
Yeah.
So we are really at the end of the writing process. So I'm really on that. I have that movie in France, and I'm starting to develop a new series, but it's the beginning of the work here. So yeah, I'm back on writing my own stories. You know,
Okay.
it was an experience for me to do that that movie. I did another pilot for another company, and now I really want to go back to the writing process and then arrive to the set. You know, it's always I always feel more legitimate when I write during 2 years on the story, and then you're on set. You say, okay, I work on that during those 2 years. Follow me. I know where we are going. Follow me. So
Yeah.
it's really a feeling that I love. So I want to go back on set.
That is great. You know, and I think, you know, overall, this movie was pretty terrifying. You know, I've seen a lot of horror films over the years, but there was something about this that really just was terrifying. Not to give away any spoilers, you know, but it was dark, and it was kind of like what I was looking for. So congratulations with that. I'm sure it's going to resonate a lot with the horror community, and hopefully bring out some, you know, more fans, and hopefully they'll check out your work and Woody's work, because there's just, you know, there's a lot of it.
Thank you.
So that's great. And then I know, Woody, I know you've been nominated for several awards and you've won a couple. Can you describe how that felt, being on the red carpet and receiving that?
It felt so surreal. I'll be honest. Just imagine, yeah. A year before, you were making a film. When you're making the film, you don't really think forward. Like, oh, this is people are gonna see this. And then a year and a bit later, you're on a red carpet and people are talking to you about that film. It just feels so weird.
No, that totally makes sense. It's probably the same feeling when you see your name, you know, on the credits of a film,
Yeah.
you know, on the big screen, or even at home. So that's great. Well, I really appreciate you guys taking the time out and speaking with me today. You know, the movie will be released on July 21st in theaters. I hope everybody goes and sees it. You'll be missing out if you don't, that is for sure. So my review will be up in a couple weeks as soon as the embargo is lifted. And yeah, I wish you both the best and great things.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you two have a great day, and thank you again.
You
Yeah,
too.
thank you.
Bye.
Right.
Take care.